Tyler, it's lovely to get a chance to talk to you about your life and your career, because it seems like you've been around forever. You're only 23, you're a young woman.
23, everyone thinks I'm a lot older than I am.
And why is that? I mean, well, obviously partly because you've been around so long.
I think it's just because I came into the team so young at 16. And yeah, that's what, like 7 years ago now, so it is a long time. So I think people just always think I'm older than I am, really.
Tell us about growing up and what football meant to you. I mean, your dad was a player, wasn't he?
I think it's just drilled into me from a young age. I used to spend every day after school over at my granny's, and all my cousins and uncles would be out in the garden playing. So I just kind of really looked up to them, and I was always just out kicking a ball into the net. I joined the local boys team in my town, and I never looked back from there, really. Football's just always been my life, and that's been it. And
who was your favourite football team? Who did you look up to as players?
I would say probably Barcelona. I know everyone really says it, but it's always been Messi, really. He's always the player I've looked up to. Maybe nowadays it'd probably be Rodri, because he kind of plays in the same position as me. And obviously having a spell at Man City, I kind of know the football they play, know the ins and outs, and yeah, that's been really it.
Were you a striker when you were younger? Did you have an eye for goal?
I've played a bit everywhere, to be honest. Growing up, I'd have played, you know, when you're young you don't really have a position, you'd be playing midfield, up front, everywhere. But yeah, just when I grew up a bit, obviously I dropped back into CDM, and yeah, I just really enjoy that position.
I know a lot of talented young girls play in boys' teams, but it can be quite challenging, can't it?
For sure. I think it massively helped me growing up. I think I've played in boys' teams since I was 5, right up until 18, until I moved over to England. And it definitely brought me on, because the boys are just naturally so sharp and strong. But yeah, I do think it does bring young girls on playing with the boys and gives them a competitive edge.
You have to be able to look after yourself though, don't you?
100%. You do get a bit of stick coming into the games. There's a girl playing for them. But that's things you have to get used to, really. And it's just another obstacle to get over.
The girl often ends up being the best player on the field, though.
Well, I'll not just say that, but you get comments here and there now. But no, you definitely have to be able to look after yourself both on the pitch and off it with the boys now. But I really enjoyed it.
Tell us about your dad's football career. Did you get to see him play at all?
I can't really remember, to be honest with you. I was so young. My football memories have always really been just growing up and myself playing. And yeah, that's
Because Finn Harps is such a big club for Donegal.
I was actually at a Finn Harps conference there in the summer, and they're looking to start a women's team. So that'd be brilliant, obviously, to have a senior women's team in Donegal. So hopefully that can happen and give girls the option to play at home as well.
So then, your club career, when you knew you had special talent, when you were kind of better than most of the girls of your class, of your age group, was football as a career something that your teachers said is possible?
You know what, growing up, when you're in school, you're always thinking, like, when people ask you what do you want to be when you're older, other girls are saying doctors or dentists, and I always just jumped, I want to be a footballer. But I don't think that properly became a reality until I was called into the senior team at the start, and that kind of really opened up my eyes to what football can be and a career I can have with it. So yeah, I think that's when reality kicked in, when I always dreamed of being a professional footballer, but I think that's when I knew this is possible, I can have a career in it.
Well, you represented Ireland at 15s, 16s, 17s. I mean, you must have seen on the way up that ladder that there was a chance.
Yeah, for sure. I think I went into the 15 schools, went to 16s, 17s, and then I think I jumped in from 17 straight to senior.
Talk to me about your senior debut then. That's always a special moment for a player, isn't it?
For sure, and I think it was extra special because it was against Northern Ireland. And obviously I'm just for maybe an hour down the road from there, so I had loads of family and friends at the game. It was really surreal, to be honest. I remember Colin going to tell me to warm up and my legs just left me. I was like, here we go. But yeah, running on that pitch was an unbelievable feeling, one I'll never forget. And yeah, I was just made really extra special with everyone there watching me.
Did you keep the shirt?
Yeah, of course, it's hanging up in my room.
Is it framed?
It is, yeah. I keep one shirt from every game that I have a cap.
Brilliant.
Just for something to look back on.
Yeah. Talk to me about Manchester City then. I mean, we see them as one of the leading clubs in the world now. But for the women's game, what was it like for you guys?
I think it was a huge step for me to obviously go straight from, I just finished my leaving cert and I think I moved over 2 weeks later. So it was a massive step moving away from home and to such a big club, because I was training with some of the best players in the world, the likes of Ciara Walsh, Georgia Stanway. So I think it did really develop me as a player, you know, being in a full-time environment, training every day. And it's something I'm really grateful for. It just gave me experiences and showed me what the game is like at the very top level. But I think the club is now competing for WSL year in, year out, and Champions League. So yeah, they are a really good club.
Was there a connection in those days between the women's team and the men's team? Did you ever kind of come across them?
We would always done a bit of media, you know, and then the odd time our physio rooms would have overlapped. So we'd have met the men here and there in the gym and stuff like that. But they were always really welcoming, like, and just talking to the woman, which was quite nice. It was kind of one club, you know.
And for a young girl, same with young boys, like to have to go across the water, it's a big change in life circumstances, isn't it?
I think it's a sacrifice you have to make. Growing up, I always knew that if I did want to be a professional footballer, you have to move away from your family. And it's not easy. To this day, I still, you know, struggle with it a bit, but it's just part and parcel of the game and a sacrifice you have to make to play at the top level. But yeah, it's a sacrifice. It's very much worth it.
Could players be helped more in that regard? I mean, our Irish players, you know, whether we like it or not, for a player to, I suppose, reach their potential at this stage, if they're showing that they've got talent, they probably have to go away.
I think it's just part and parcel of being Irish. You're such a homebird, and at the minute, the top teams in the world, the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Man City, the likes of Barcelona, they're all across the water. And to play against them players and to reach your full potential, I think it's just something you have to do. It's something I don't regret, and yeah, I think it is really, really worth it to get to the top level of the game.
Did you enjoy your time in Scotland? Because they do say that, you know, Donegal in particular and Glasgow have such a connection.
Yeah, the Scottish, they sound a lot more like the Irish, I must say. But yeah, no, Scotland was another great experience. Obviously living in Glasgow, and I think we did the cup double when I was at Celtic, and then we won the league at Glasgow. So more good experiences. I met Caitlin there back a few years ago, but yeah, I think my career has all gave me a lot of different experiences in different countries as such.
Tell us about Spain then, because that was a very interesting move. How did that come about?
How did Spain come about? You know what, it sounds a bit mad, but I just got a text on Instagram one day, would you be interested in coming to Spain?
You're joking.
100%. And I think just me being a technical player, I kind of jumped on it. I was like, yeah, it would be great to experience a year abroad. I'll say the football was unbelievable. The standard is just tiki-taka, moving the ball quickly, which I really enjoyed the training. And you're training with some top players that have just went on to win the World Cup with Spain. But the culture was definitely very different. Nobody really spoke English, so that was definitely an obstacle that you had to get over. And I think moving over there, it adds to that homesickness as such, because if people don't speak English, you can't really have a conversation with people. But luckily my housemate spoke English, and by the time I left she was fluent in English. And then I did pick up Spanish. You know, I could understand what people were saying, and if I was speaking to someone one-on-one, I had no problem, but in a group setting it was quite difficult, because by the time you think what you're going to say, they've moved on to something completely different. You know how fast we speak?
Yeah.
But no, it was definitely another good experience, and I think it kind of set me up to come back here and play regular football and kind of take a jump in my career.
I'm still getting over the fact that you were signed on Instagram.
I know, mad.
It's crazy.
That's how things come about.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So tell me about Blackburn then.
Blackburn, I'd say, has been a really positive move for me. Obviously coming back to the UK a bit closer to home. and then going in somewhere where I'm playing week in, week out, regular football was always the main priority for me, because it gives me a platform then to push on later in my career. So yeah, that game time has been crucial for me, and I think it has really developed me as a player. And obviously this year being handed so much responsibility by the club, it's obviously nice to be valued by both the manager and the team as a whole. So hopefully I can lead the team to a successful season.
Now, I know you're reluctant to talk about your time in exile, it's been called, but your time away from the Irish team. It was 4 years. It was a long time for such. Again, you're only 23.
Yeah.
You know, how difficult was that for you to deal with?
I think being out for so long, I had a real desire and the hunger to get back in the team, and seeing how well the girls were doing always drove me on, and just gave me that extra bit of motivation. If I didn't need any, but it gave me that extra bit of edge to keep pushing and know my time would come, and thankfully it did come, and I'm sitting here now talking to you today and really looking to push on, and we have a huge year ahead with the team and huge goals.
You must have been, like the rest of us, so proud of the girls for making it to the World Cup. Was there any hint of kind of, gosh, I wish I was there?
Of course, I think every girl sitting and watching the TV back home would have loved to be there, but for me it was just biding my time, knowing that it would come, everything was going to come around. And so I'm sitting here talking to you today, and the next goal is Euros in Switzerland next summer, and that's what we're all looking forward to.
Do you resent Vera Pauw for her stance at the time?
I think over the course of the 4 years I kind of just focused on myself. There's no point listening to the outside noise, really. If you have a goal in your head, I don't think there is any point resenting anyone. I think if you just focus on yourself, the tides will turn, and the tides did turn. And yeah, I'm just looking ahead, really, and what I can do.
How low did you get, though? How difficult was it for you personally and for your family?
I think setbacks always bring people together as such, and I think big characters can then step up from setbacks, and I think that's what I did. It just gave me, I think it really brought me out of my shell and gave me that desire and that hunger to really push on and become the best I can be. And that's really my plan now, coming back into the team to show the team how much I can help them and help the country achieve our goals.
Look at how different it is, your debut against Northern Ireland and what Irish women's football was like then. And then almost like your second debut at the Aviva Stadium.
Yeah.
Against Northern Ireland. I mean, it's a remarkable change in circumstance, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, what a game to come back to. Obviously playing Aviva in front of, I think, 38,000. And I think it's crazy that it was against Northern Ireland again, so it was special again. But yeah, it just shows you how much the game has grown. Obviously, it was kind of the homecoming from the girls coming back from the World Cup, and then the start of a new journey. But you can see that we've really pushed on, and we're hoping to achieve big things over the next few months.
But talk to me about mindset. Like, you became player of the match that day in that environment when there was so much personally riding on it for you, I'd imagine.
Do you know what? People often ask me that, and I do look back on it, and it probably was a high pressurised game. First game back in, coming in, starting in front of such a big crowd. But I think when you're in the game, football is all about dealing with pressure. And yeah, I just seen it as every other game, really. I had to go in, do a job, perform, help the team.
But you must have known a lot of it was on you. I mean, because of what happened, because you'd been out, coming back, Eileen brought you back in, and did you feel this is my time now?
Oh, absolutely. When I do think when you get an opportunity like that, you have to take it. And there is a bit of pressure riding on you, but I think that is the same in so many different situations in football. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I did take that opportunity, thankfully. And yeah, it's definitely one of my best memories in an Ireland shirt.
And then we went and blitzed the Nations League. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It set us up nicely to get where we are today with another job.
Well, looking now at what we've got to do. Georgia, we've beaten in the past. Can't take them for granted. But you're a couple of steps away from something really special. Ireland have never made it to a European Championship finals.
I think the goal since Ireland came in was always to qualify for the Euros. Obviously we have Georgia in a double header, but we're taking it one step at a time. You can never take any team for granted, and we know on Friday tomorrow we have a huge job to do. 3 points, good performance, and then we move on. But I think it's really important just to take that step by step and not look too far ahead. I know outsiders might look, to the Euros in Switzerland next year, but yeah, I think all the games we've played against Georgia in the past, they're gone now. They're irrelevant. And we do have a job to do tomorrow, so we're fully focused on that.
From your own point of view, injury-wise, all cleared up, all good?
Yeah, all good. I'm here to help the team, and I'm available for the manager.
And with the likes of Megan missing, I mean, you've got to see that you've got a good opportunity. Has Eileen even given you an indication yet?
I think coming in to the squad nowadays, the competition is so high. I think it's really healthy. We have big players in every position, and every time we come in, we're all fighting for that starting shirt. So I think every time I do come in, there's always good communication with the managers. And yeah, everyone's pushing for the start, so everyone will be ready for whoever she picks tomorrow.
Now, it won't be Instagram, but international football at this level is a shop window as well.
For sure.
Obviously, I would imagine your ambition is to play at the highest level you can, be it with Blackburn or with somebody else.
For sure. I think playing week out at Blackburn and being involved in the international setup definitely puts you on the shop window. But I think for me, it's just taking game for game, season by season, and just seeing what I can achieve, and making a decision each year where's the right place for me to be, and seeing what I can push on to, really.
Is there a goal in Tyler Toland?
There is. I'm not sure when, but there definitely is.
Well, Georgia might be a good start.
Well, here's hoping.
Well, absolutely. Tyler, it's lovely to talk to you.
Thank you
very much. Wish you the
very
very best in the game tomorrow, and indeed for the rest of your career.
Thank you very much, Tony.